one of the reasons, of many reasons why men in society continue to remain silent is the fact that the history of certain men, especially black men, of oppression means that they live in a perpetual state of trauma. And anybody who's a trauma has no voice and will remain silent. And the way that the expression of that silence comes out is through aggression, through violence, through depression, alcohol and substance misuse.
But that's what's missing from a lot in the community and various families where there's domestic violence happening. Because man's coming in the house already pressure out on road. He's coming in, not had no time to de-stress. Then his girl just gone in like a pit bull. Like, yo, how come that thing's in the comment?
Basically, I've tried to commit suicide, I've died twice in hospital, all because I couldn't get my screams out. Basically, the main thing I see for this project is it gives somebody a way of getting those screams out, because if you don't, you end up imprisoning yourself, boxing yourself in. There's no way out once you do that. There's no probation officer going to come and see you, there's none of that. You've got to take these opportunities in these forums to just get everything out. That's castration, mate. Yeah. It's my yard!
And when you look back in the history of when our grandparents to you, parents to me came, they came with screams. And then us as young men and young women growing up, we had our own screams. But the screams weren't heard. Now because the screams weren't heard, we took our screams to the streets, what's now called road. And from a big man perspective, that scream is continual, because today, with grey hairs, 30, 40 years on, we see our children and grandchildren still screaming, still doing the same issues facing them, and they're screaming. And as a father, we look on and we say to ourselves, I can see my son screaming, but I can't reach out to him because maybe I've had baby mother problems and I ain't had the chance to rebuild the relationship. But what I want to say to the father then, reach out, let's grow together, let's be in pain together, let's live together, let's heal together.
See their dad go, who was an electrician. They didn't say their dad was a plumber. They didn't say that dad was a doctor. So they're gonna be in that same cycle.
There's an African-American novelist called Ralph Ellison who wrote a book called Invisible Man. And the opening part of the book, he states very clearly, where his main character says, I'm invisible not because I'm a ghost in an Edgar Allan Poe ghost story, but because society refuses to see me. Many black men live in a society where they're rendered invisible. They're not seen in positive roles, they're not seen in a positive light. Where they are visible is in prison, is in mental institutions. It's the statistics for violence and suicide. So one of the problems with being invisible and silence, it means that we become ill, we don't communicate, and if we don't communicate with those we love for, they become affected, they then become infected, and we have a complete social and communal breakdown. So in some respects, not only do we need to transcend the invisibility, but we need to break the silence so that we could become wealthy in terms of our health.